Hi guys, Emma and Kate here from the Posse page. We just jumped on today just to chat a little bit about what's been happening with Playing with Fire, what we've got coming up, what things that we know are coming for Playing with Fire from our conversation with Jimmy. Now, obviously, this is just our opinion. We have no inside information. We are not secret sleuths. We don't have the little guys in our ears telling us things. This is just what we think. And it could be and probably will be completely different to how it turns out. But we thought, why not talk about it, break down the interview a little bit and give you the main points. So I think the first thing really to start with is the fact that, Playing with Fire have been gone for a little while, like on a bit of a break, but they're team building, which I think is huge for Playing with Fire in the future. So what do you think about it? What do you think about this team?
I'm excited. Like when he said that there was a team, I was like, "Whoa, what's happening?" And I
Hmm.
think they said it was, a good chunk of the team has already been put together. Obviously, not all of it. They're still looking for a few things, but to me, that signals growth. That signals a progress that you wouldn't be building a team to have nothing happen. That's
Yeah,
not how it works. And so I'm very excited to see. And I think once they have a solid team in place, we're going to see just everything kind of fall into place. Everything from that point
agreed.
on. Yeah, like it's just going to be like, there's this, and then there's this, and then, but you have to get that team. You have to kind of have your network, have everything set up. And then I
It's
think
so
it's just going to
important to
fly.
find those right people as well, because
Right.
you can pull a team of anybody together, right? But to have the right people that are
Oh,
going to
yeah.
do the right things is so important. And I feel like there's got to be enough interest in this to build a team. I think good things are coming. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's really
Agreed.
positive.
I think it's definitely a good sign that they're moving forward and, that they're getting that momentum, they're getting that push. And I know, like Jimmy said, they're a book writer, for example, is something they're still looking for. And I think, that's something that obviously they need, but at the same time, I think if that's, the last piece of the puzzle even, it's still a good sign. I think it still shows that they're going forward.
Hmm.
And I think when certain parts fall into place, you'll see little bits. I think you'll see a little more like the graphic novel and the vinyl and things like that may happen before the team is completely finished because they'll be at points where they'll be like, okay, we progressed enough that we can do this, or we progressed enough to do that. So I mean, I'm excited. I think there's definitely big things
Yeah.
coming. I think there's some good things in the horizon. Not immediate. Like I know everybody wants to see this just happen overnight, and it's not going to.
Hmm.
Like this is
Yeah.
not that's not how this works. But I do think there will be things. Obviously, we don't know exactly what either, but I do think there'll be some things happening in the future, in the near future, even. I don't think by the end of the year it's going to just be this quiet lull. Like, I think the break will be done. I think new things will have occurred. I'm excited. Like, I'm excited to see. I think,
I am.
yeah, and I know we've talked about it, and I agree with you. Like, we've talked about it before. I think the graphic novel might be the next thing that happens. Um, Jimmy, the way he was talking about it, just how much time they were, how far into it they were. I think that might be
Hmm.
the next thing that happens. We could be
Yeah.
wrong. They could, of
Yeah.
course, throw it
Because
for a loop, but
I think like in the interview, like Jimmy said, they're about two-thirds done, and it sort of started around November time ish. So, we've got a good 2, 3, maybe more, but months before we get the the graphic novel. Obviously, we've seen some of the art. It looks amazing.
amazing. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
I
And I
think it should come
think
out in May. Just saying, because it's my birthday in May. That should be my birthday present. It's a graphic novel. Like, I'd be okay with that. But yo, I mean, it looks so good. And I love how Jimmy talked about when the graphic novel comes out, you're really going to see him and JC's thought process of, how they envision the story. Because I think right now, all of us can listen to the album and envision it in different ways. And I think
yeah.
it'll be really interesting to see how they looked at it, what their opinion was, what they were thinking as they were writing the songs. I think it's gonna be really cool. Like, I'm super excited for it. I agree
Yeah.
it's gonna be a few
I
months
am.
still, but it's gonna be amazing when it comes out. Like,
Yeah, and I
that'll be really
think
cool.
that that's one of the things I'm most excited for, because I think that
Yeah.
with with that, there's going to be so much more understanding to the songs and their placement, and like when the reconciliation between Creature and Frankenstein happens, and and that turning point, like just having that behind the scenes sort of dialogue. And that behind the scenes sort of look into their minds, where their minds are at. Because obviously the play could be completely different to what this graphic novel is and what their idea is, depending on who they come in. We don't even know if it's going to be sung through or whether there's going to be spoken parts. So it's going to be a complete mystery, which is also part of the fun.
It is. It's like a little like Christmas present, kind of see what happens. And I think
Yeah.
like, how, like they said, it might change completely. It might be nothing like the graphic novel. But I think knowing that that's where their heads were at when they wrote it, it'll just be
Hmm.
interesting. Because even if it turns out to be completely different, then you can kind of see the growth, how did it change? What did it go from here to here? Or, whatever happened.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be so cool. I'm beyond excited for it. Like, and the art's amazing. Like, it's gonna be
Yeah.
just so good. I know, like, obviously they talked about the merch shop continuing and all that. And I hope that when it does, I would love to see more of like the graphic novel depictions
Artwork.
of the
Yeah.
characters and all that. Yeah, like I just think there's so much you could do with it. And we've only seen what, a page, and I'm hooked.
Hmm.
And I can't imagine what the whole thing, some of the scenes, just picturing how they're gonna look in the graphic novel.
Yeah. And I'm
Be so cool.
excited to see the comparisons between Barbara's book and
Yeah. And like
this
what they
one.
do.
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
differences and the comparisons and stuff like that. Like, I'm really excited to see sort of those like little nuances and what's carried through and stuff like that.
exactly. And especially if they kind of tie the lyrics of the songs
Yeah.
into the pictures, I think it'll be really interesting because I know in the beginning, we kind of talked about where do we think this song's gonna go? Where do we think that song's gonna go? And it'd be really interesting to see how close we are. Do we get any of them right?
Yeah.
Or are we way off the mark? Like, that'll be really interesting. I think that'll be amazing. And
Yeah.
I definitely think that's gonna be I mean, again, we could be wrong, but I feel like that's what's gonna come next. And then
I do too.
I think the vinyl will be close after that. Like,
Close
I think
after,
there's
I
gonna be some
do.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you gotta
don't
have
think
some
it's
time,
far
but they'll be
off.
good. No, agreed.
Yeah.
I think those are
I
both
think
gonna come to us
maybe
quick.
like a month or two after the graphic novel, maybe a little bit longer, but I don't think it's far off. I definitely think it's going to be sort of towards the end of summer ish for
Yeah,
me. And I could be totally wrong, but that's just where my head goes.
I was thinking
Um,
summer too, so
yeah, same brain, of course.
it'll be always, always with us. Yeah, I do though, and
Um,
I think it'll be really interesting to see how it looks too. I'm kind of curious. Like, obviously, we know the cover art will be the cover art, but
mhm.
like the actual record to see what it looks like, because you could do
Yeah,
some really
like,
cool designs. And
is it going to
so,
be classic? Is it going to be colored? Is it, what?
exactly. Like, I saw
And
one,
just the
it was like
vinyl.
swirls and stuff. So like they could do one with like
Mhm.
flames or something cool. Kind of
Be
interesting to
so
see what they
cool.
do.
But even just the classic, like, even if you don't have like a vinyl player, number one, buy one because you need it for this. But number two, like, frame it, put it up. Like, that's gonna look
Yeah.
so cool.
I actually just got some vinyl and I don't own a vinyl player yet. I need to get one. But I got some as a gift from a friend and just displaying them. They just look so cool. And I'm like, you know
Yeah.
what? Even if I never get a player, I still want the vinyl. I just want to
Yeah, me
display it.
too.
Like, it looks so cool. I think it'll look awesome. So that'll definitely be another thing that I think by the end of the summer, I think we'll have the graphic novel and the vinyl both out available. Maybe even some signed vinyl. That'd be cool. I think
Maybe
maybe,
some signed graphic novel. Like, I'm
yeah,
just
take some signed
saying,
graphic novels.
I want a signed graphic novel.
I would buy that in 2 seconds flat, guaranteed.
Yeah.
So that would be pretty cool. And then I think there'll be a little break after that. I think
Yeah.
they have to have time because again, they're also still team building. And when the team is set, they've got a lot to do. Like if once they get that book writer, for example, they're gonna have to spend time book write. And even though you have the book writer, you have the main person, obviously they're gonna be
Yeah.
putting in input because they want it to
Input.
be perfect. They want it to match their vision. And so, of course, there's going to be a little bit of a break there too. Of it might look like nothing's happening. It might look like they're on a little vacation, but they're not. They're just doing
Yeah.
all this writing, all
Behind
behind
the
the scenes.
scenes, they
Yeah.
are busy little workers working away. And we still don't know if it's going to be a director or a dramatist or what that situation is going to be. So there's so much to work on behind the scenes. And
Oh yeah.
that they're building a play here, like a musical here. This is not just, okay, we're putting out a CD and then we're going to go do some signings, which I'm not opposed to, like, signings scattered in between all of this, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Just
Definitely. Yeah.
saying. Um, but
Name's okay with that too.
but I do think that, you know, it's not going to be so forthright for us. We're not going to see everything because there's
Right.
so many steps behind the scenes. But we do know that they're hoping to do the concert, which I think is probably going to be more, you know, the year anniversary to like October onwards sort of time. Again, just a guess, but I think it's going to end up towards sort of that end of the year.
Yeah. And I think it'd be a good time too, to be honest. Like I think it'd be a kind of a fun way to be like a year later, look
Yeah.
where they've progressed to or whatever. That'd be really neat. I think that would be, in my opinion, like, I mean, again, we don't know when it's going to happen, but in my opinion, doing it like on the anniversary or something would just be really cool. And again, like Jimmy said too, we don't even know how many. They could do just one concert, they could do multiple concerts, they could do
Hmm.
multiple locations. Like nothing is fully set in stone. Like they want to do it. We know that. Like that is
Yeah.
still a game plan. But when, where, how many, all of that,
Yeah.
nobody knows. They don't even know yet. Like nobody has an idea yet. Which I mean, it'd be interesting to see. Like, I think doing it in multiple locations would be cool, but I also understand that like the logistics of that and the travel, all of that stuff, obviously gets to be a lot. Multiple days in one location would also be cool, just because you can get more people, in and doing the. But again, venues, they might not have the space or whatever. But I think when it does happen, obviously it's going to be great. I know that it'll probably have a good build up leading up to it, hyping people to
Yeah.
come to it, all of that.
And we've been
I think
told that
like
we're going to be given some notice. You know,
yes,
it's not going to be like
it's not gonna be
a
rushed.
9 day letting
Exactly.
you know. There's
They
going to
seem
be
very
notice.
adamant on enough time for people to prepare, which I think is good. And then, because I mean, obviously, I think that's something a lot of people are going to want to go to a lot. And it'll be interesting to see how they do it as well. I think, like, will they have a cast? Do they have people coming in? Do they have the original singers? Do they have, like an
Yeah,
orchestra? Do they have, versus just maybe
it's
playing
a
music?
band or musician or
Yeah.
whatever.
Do
Yeah,
they have like a choir backing up some of the vocals? Things like that. Like there's just so many ways. And then will they do things like just have them up singing, or will they have scenes depicted, in the
people
background?
reading
Like
between the songs
yeah,
or
reading
whatever.
verses or yeah,
Yeah,
like there's so many directions they could go with it, and it'll be really interesting, I think, to see. Of course, everybody wants to see the original 3 doing the
yeah.
vocals. Like
Like
that's a
that would
no-brainer.
be dream, wouldn't it? That would be goals, but we'll take
Exactly.
what we can get. Okay,
And that's the
so
thing. It's like we want that, but at the same time, I think even if they pick 3 people that you've never heard of, upcoming stars, rising stars, whatever, I think like it's just gonna be so magical. It's
yeah,
not gonna matter. Like I know everybody wants to hear JC live again, and everybody loves Cardi, loves Lily, but
a
I
little bit.
mean, just a little.
Yeah,
We love them
just a
just a
little
bit.
bit.
But I think that whoever does it it's gonna be so good because I think they're gonna do it in such a way that you're gonna be sucked
Hmm.
into the story. Even if they don't tell the story, even if they just play the songs like you would the CD,
Yeah,
you can't help it. Like you're just gonna get sucked in. And I think hearing it live, especially some of those, like imagine like the animation and that music just blaring through the whole place. Like, oh my gosh. It would be so crazy and
and like
like
the just
fantastic.
the power of playing with fire, you know,
Yes.
and
The
just yeah.
operetta portion, like
Oh, and then
it'd be
don't go. I'm
amazing.
gonna be crying. Like it's gonna
Oh, the
happen.
whole thing is gonna just be like emotional roller coaster because that's what this album is. So
Yeah,
like hearing it live, it's going to be just as much of a roller coaster, if not more. And I think it's just going to be really, really, really awesome. I honestly kind of personally hope they don't do a lot of visuals because I think it's just good to have your imagination. Just let you picture it, let you, feel the music and whatever you think it should look like. Because of course, eventually it's going to be on stage and you're going to have the visuals and everything.
yeah,
But in the meantime, let your imagination have some fun with it. And then before you know it, you can compare, what your imagination thought it would look like versus when it's actually on stage, which is going to be a little while because I know everybody's
yeah,
antsy. We've got
yeah,
some time, but I do think we'll have things in between, like the graphic novel, like the vinyl, like the concerts to kind of hold people over. I think
yeah.
they, well, we're going to get there. Like, just
And
it's a
you know,
process.
we know that every time we're like, oh well, what are they going to do next? They've got something up their sleeve. JC and Jimmy always knock it out the park. They've always got
Oh,
something, secretive going on behind the scenes that they just, jump on us. And then we've got this huge thing that we're all freaking out about. They're going to break the internet again. They always do. They've
always.
got us. Yeah.
And it's worth it every time. They never disappoint.
Yeah.
Never. And I think it'll just be awesome. And I think, a year's time even that we're going to look back and be like, wow, like just everything they've done, everything that's happened with the album and then the vinyl and the graphic novel, by then it's going to be crazy, but it's going to be fantastic. And I think we as the fans just kind of have to be patient. I think that's the biggest thing is I think a lot of people just think, all right, the album's out, so now what? And it's like patience, it's like one of those things. It's like a cake or something, you got to have time for it to bake. And this is what they're doing. They're making
Sure.
the project. Yeah.
And keep making the memes, keep making the edits, keep, streaming the album. Like this is the time when we get to show how supportive we are as fans.
Exactly. And they're noticing. They notice, they appreciate it. Like, you might think they don't. They do.
Yeah, they see it all.
They do. And trust me, Jimmy really genuinely, when we were talking to him, just seemed so happy about the support, just how many people are supporting this. And, I think that's just the biggest thing is that they get to feel that love all the time. As long as we keep showing it.
Appreciation is so real, isn't it? Like it's so genuine, it's so real. They genuinely appreciate it. And we love it too. So, the more you put in, the more you get out. Just saying.
Exactly. And just, keep it going. Let them see the love. Let them see the appreciation. Let them see that we as the fandom as a whole, we want to see this on stage. We want to keep pushing it, keep supporting them. Because at the end of the day, there's going to come a point where they're going to have it on stage and they're going to be able to look back and see just how many people were backing them and supporting them from day one.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to mean the world to them. This is a project, you can just see it when they talk, how passionate the two of them are about this, that this means the world to them. And I think to have the push, the publicity of all these fans, these people just going crazy over it really means a lot to them. And I think, when the graphic novel comes out, buy it. You don't really read graphic novels, gift it to somebody, just have that support, buy the vinyl, buy the graphic novel, go to the concert, whatever it is you can do. And if you can't do any of that, post stuff, share stuff.
Yeah,
keep stream things, share, just as something simple as if somebody makes something Playing with Fire related and you're like, oh, that's cool, share it. Because you'd be amazed how many people will just see your graphic or see whatever story, whatever. I know we always appreciate when people share our stuff. It means a lot to us when we see our followers sharing our stuff. I guarantee you, especially if you're tagging, if you use that hashtag, the PWF musical hashtag, they're seeing it. They're seeing how many people are doing things. They're seeing who's doing things, all of that. So just keep it going, keep that support going, because right now, as fans, that is the most important thing we can do is just support them. They love it. We love them. So let's show them that we do.
Definitely. And I think that this project deserves it. It's not just, oh, we love JC, so we're going to do it. This project, this musical is amazing and it deserves the love and support that it gets. And, keeping that word going is really what's going to do wonders in the future for everything. So just keep it going.
Yeah, I think it's perfect. And I think, as a community, like as the fandom and everything, that it makes us feel good too. When you're out there and you're pushing a project that is good, is amazing quality, the people behind it are amazing people, it makes you feel good, to just go out there and be like, guys, you should check this out and whatever. So it's kind of like a win-win. You're happy, they're happy. And I really feel like it's going to be a little while, but in due time, we're going to be sitting here doing another chat, talking all about how we went and saw the show on stage and what it was like and how great it was. And it's going to
so worth it. It's going to be
it is so worth it. It's a journey. It's a long journey. People definitely have to have their patience and, expect this to take a while. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to be worth every single second that we put into it.
For sure. And I think to round it up, like we know we're getting the graphic novel. We know we're getting a vinyl. We're hopefully getting the concert. It's wanted. We're hopefully getting the concert. You know, the musical's going to happen. I won't take any other answers. That's it. But we've got so much more to come, and the little things in between. The little playing with fire videos, or the little signings that might pop up here and there that we fingers crossed for. You know, that's a lot, and they're doing a lot, and I'm excited for it.
Me too. I think it's something amazing. 2025 is just going to be playing with fire,
Yeah.
impressive, beyond impressive. And I think we at the Posse page, and I think everybody in general, are just really looking forward to seeing kind of what happens next, because whatever it is, we're going to love it, because we always do with them.